guys, it's Simon. This is Pro Wrestling Unlimited. And as you can hear, I got a stuffed as hell up nose. So if I sound weird, I do apologize. Again, my nose is stuffed up. Been stuffed up all day. Been sniffling, blowing it, running, all kinds of things. So again, if I do sound weird, it's because I do have a stuffy nose. EMJ for the super chat. I will read that later when we get to that match. So let me copy that over to my notes. That way, in case it goes away on YouTube, I still get it. So give me 1 second to copy this over here. Copy your question. Your comment, actually. All right, we've got that. But with that, as far as tonight's Dynamite does go, the St. Patrick's Day Slam from San Antonio, Texas. I thought the show was pretty good. I thought overall the show was good. And there was one segment that I'm sitting here and I'm going, man, this is dumb. But then by the end I go, this is either really dumb or really, really good. And I can't decipher, to be honest. And we'll get into all of that. We got a new AEW Women's World Champion. Wardlow got screwed as many predicted. But yeah, a good show overall. And with that, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and Twitter.com/PWU Unlimited. Remember, if you are watching on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can help us out either by hitting that donate button down below or donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of two different ways. It's on Prime. Because remember, if you say, hey, I ain't got the money to pay for that tiered subscription, but I do have Amazon Prime, well, you're in luck. You take that Amazon Prime account. You take that Twitch account. You link them together, bada bing, bada boom, Prime Gaming. With Prime Gaming, you get a lot of stuff like free games, Madden 22 right now, free stuff for games like Fall Guys and Valorant, and you get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month, and I'd greatly appreciate it if you did that right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, Magma Lord says today is the season finale of Cody Rhodes' Go Big Show. Negative. Last Thursday was, but that show, whatever the previous week's episode is, always airs after Dynamite on Wednesday. So technically last Thursday was the season finale, the grand finale as they called it, of the Go Big Show. So technically that show wrapped up last week. I mean, I can tell you who won right now. Season 2 winner. You guys want spoilers for the Go Big Show? It's exactly who I expected. I didn't watch it, but I just Googled it, and it's exactly who I would have picked based off the Final Four. But yeah, that show actually wrapped up last week, which again made a lot of people think, all right, Go Big Show's done on TBS. Now WWE is more likely to bring in Cody after he's got no more ties to AEW. Because, you know, AEW, TBS, Go Big Show. But regardless, also, if you're watching on YouTube, you can help us out over there as well with a super chat or a super sticker donation. All super chats do get read live on the air. Again, I want to say thank you to Mr. EMJ for his super chat donation. Also, remember to hit that join button down below to become a member and a member of the Unlimited Army. As a member, you get early access to news, early access to podcast episodes, early access to non-news videos, and so much more. Plus, if you say, yeah, but I don't want to give YouTube my money, well, don't fret. You can get all that and more directly support us at patreon.com/PW Unlimited. And finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Oop, is it not going to work? Is it not going to work? Let's try it this way. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy a game. Get V-Bucks. Get stuff for Rocket League. Do all that jazz. But at checkout, remember to hit that code PW Unlimited. Whether it's a new game like Sifu, whether it is points for Rocket League or V-Bucks for Fortnite. Let's say you have a creator code and you do, it's PW Unlimited. You put that code in and you're directly supporting us right here. But with that, we've got AEW Dynamite to talk about. So let's jump right into it. So, Jim Ross opens up the show, and the first thing he says is, "Hey, yo," which is great to hear. Great to hear. And then we get the 6-man tag team match, or as they call it, the trios match. So we have the trios match, where it's Adam Cole and Red Dragon against the team of the AEW World Tag Team Champions, Jurassic Express. Jungle Boy and Cole started off the match, with the former getting the upper hand after a Hurricane Rana. Luchasaurus and Fish then tagged in, and the big man took out everybody with frying pan chops. Red Dragon rolled to the floor and kicked Luchasaurus' leg out from under him. They isolated him in their corner with frequent tags in and out. Eventually, Luchasaurus exploded out and reached Paige for the tag. Paige ran wild on everybody, hitting Fish with a fallaway slam and a pescado on Cole and O'Reilly. They hit a tope suicida on both for good measure. He hit a pop-up powerbomb on Fish for a 2. Excuse me. Fish then rolled out of the way of a buckshot, but Jungle Boy wiped everybody out with a flip dive. Paige, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus, and all three got on the turnbuckle and the corner of the ring or whatnot. Moonsaults all around. Really cool to see. They even made a big deal of Luchasaurus doing it flat-footed from the apron. Then Luchasaurus took out all three opponents, concluding with a choke slam of Fish onto O'Reilly, and then a moonsault double pin for a 2. He and Jungle Boy set up for a doomsday device, but Red Dragon countered it. O'Reilly put Luchasaurus in a knee bar, but Paige overpowered Cole to break it up. Paige and Cole then tagged in and teed off on each other. Paige hit a Deadeye, and then we got a parade of big moves. Jungle Boy hit a Doomsday device for a good near fall, but Red Dragon hit the high-low, and Cole lowered the boom to pick up the victory. So there we go. Cole, Fish, O'Reilly to defeat the champs. We need to get a name. I know they can't be Undisputed Era. They trademarked the name Paragon. Let's go. Let's call them Paragon. Let's do it. So let me go to the back. It's Keith Lee with Team Taz. And I'm like, they're still doing this? Whatever. They noted that Lee will take on Max Caster this week on Rampage. And then Ricky Starks goes, but if you show up on my show, what happened last week's going to happen again. Team Taz going to attack you. You know what it feels like to get that spine buster from Hobbs. And basically Lee's like, okay, cool. And then walks off. I'm like, really? That was it? That was it? So we got a Kris Statlander video where she took off makeup. And hold on, I wrote this weird. Okay. Kris Statlander took off makeup and intercepted between footage for her struggles in the ring. Got a character change in the works, I guess you could say. Maybe she's not going to be an alien anymore. I don't know. I really was kind of confused by what this was. Give me 1 second. Because I know I saw somebody write something up about this. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, nope. I can't find it anymore. Someone had wrote something about this where I was like, oh, that kind of makes a little more sense. Now I can't find it. I thought I had it. I thought I sent it to somebody, the tweet. Never mind. So next up, it was Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson against Best Friends, Chuck Taylor and Wheeler Yuta. William Regal did join commentary. His reaction to Danhausen was, quote, "Pray tell, me with the mask? Who is the demon wife or whatever he called him? Also, Mr. EMJ with the super chat says, Danielson doing the regal plex on Yuta was the move of the night for me. That suplex is nasty. I'd have to agree. That move always looks awesome and devastating. Moxley and Danielson attack right at the bell and just beat the shit out of Yuta to start. Yuta finally got some space and tagged in Chucky, who landed a plancha on Moxley before locking Danielson in a single leg crab. Danielson got the tag to Moxley, who took out Chuck with the Regal's I wrote this one. All I wrote was he took out Chuck with Regal's move, but I didn't write one move. The heels or baby faces, whatever you'd like to call them, I don't know what they are. Are Danielson and Moxley heels or baby faces? They took on baby faces, so are they heels? I don't know, but they had the dominance going into the commercial. Once back, Yuta got something of a hot tag, but was quickly cut off with a lariat from Moxley. Yuta did land a German suplex bridge for a 2, but a brief distraction from Danielson allowed Moxley to hit a jumping cutter, followed by a heart attack for a 2. Moxley did a DDT to Chuck on the floor as Danielson laid in yes kicks in the ring. Yuta fired up on Danielson, but was taken out with Saito suplex. Danielson bridged on another for good measure and got a good near fall off of it. He then kicked Yuta's head in, following Moxley tagging in and applying a bulldog choke for a submission. So with that, the fan favorites, I will call them. I don't know if they're heels. I don't know if they're baby faces. I have no clue. I'll call them the fan favorites. Do pick up the victory. Regal comes down to the ring. After the match, Wheeler Yuta's walking off with best friends and he stops himself. He goes back into the ring and he offers Regal a handshake like he wants to join them. Instead, Regal slaps him across the face. They exchange some words and the segment ends. So a tease that Wheeler Yuta maybe is going to join them, but we're not quite sure yet. FTR was backstage. Cash said that yes, they did fire Tully because of his lack of focus. Young Bucks walk up, Nick Jackson looking like the biggest goof you've ever seen. He's got this earring. It's got a chain on it that goes to whatever that damn thing in his nose is. And he looks like the biggest idiot, the biggest geek, the biggest goof, the biggest freaking just dummy with this chain going from his nose to his ear and hanging. This little small little chain, little skinny chain. And I'm like, I know you're supposed to be the bad guys and you're supposed to get people to not like you and everything, but you just look retarded. Maybe that's not the right word to use, but he just looked dumb. Like that. He's worn it once or twice before, and I've always said it. Looks dumb. Basically, they said, doesn't matter who you get as your manager, you'll always be the second best tag team in AEW. And I go, so they're better than you? Because wouldn't you consider the tag team champions the best? So if they're second best, what are the Young Bucks? Third, fourth, fifth? Hey, logic, people. Young Bucks think they're the best, then why didn't they win the tag teams at the pay-per-view? They think FTR's second best, that means FTR's technically better than them. Because the champs should always be considered the best. He claimed we're backstage. We both talked about how Caster would beat Keith Lee on Rampage. Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs walked up and demanded that Caster take care of business. But then Swerve Strickland walked up and essentially just said, this is Swerve's house. Challenge you to a match. And I'm like, again, another segment that was kind of just pointless. I mean, not pointless, but kind of pointless. Like kind of dumb, but just a filler segment. I get it. It's building to whatever on the paper or on the show Friday. But still, it didn't do it for me. I mean, it didn't do what it's supposed to do to get you excited to watch the show on Friday. It didn't. Neither of those segments that they did to hype up Friday's show got me at all wanting to watch that show. I mean, I will eventually, probably most likely watch it, but I'm not like, oh my God, Max Caster versus Keith Lee. What is Team Taz gonna do to Keith Lee? Oh my. You know, no. So then we get a segment that I'm just like, I don't even know what to think of this. To me, this could be like the dumbest segment ever or the best for what it is. So out comes the JAS, the Jericho Appreciation Society, for their commencement. Cincinnati says, how can you say he's a goof? That is good fashion. Well, if that's good fashion, then I don't know what fashion is. Call me unfashionable then. Because if that's fashion, then hell, I don't even want to be fashionable. Do it. Give me a nice NASCAR hat and a 3/4 sleeve. That's all I need, a pair of shorts. Screw that chain thing to the ear to the nose. Screw them $600, $700, $800, $900 shoes. I got $10 shoes from Walmart that I buy twice a year at most. Sometimes I can make them last the whole year. Matt Lee started this off by saying the only reason the fans got to sing Judas is because Jericho made it possible. He said, Jericho is better than me. Jeff Parker said that Jericho deserves to be praised and idolized for his contributions to both wrestling and as a human being. Jericho said that the Earth has been around for about 4.5 billion years, and we are lucky to be around at the same time as him. Quote, if there was no Jericho, there'd be no AEW. He said he helped build this company. Instead of praising Jericho, people complain and insult him on social media. He said he's the greatest performer in history, and the fans don't appreciate him. He said the inner circle may not appreciate Jericho, but these men do. He said Sammy Guevara walked out on me. Santana and Ortiz turned on me with that whoever Eddie Kingston. But they ain't coming out here. He said they don't relate to the rest of us. Because the rest of the and also the rest of the roster, because they are just pro wrestlers. And he is not a pro wrestler. Chris Jericho is a, quote, sports entertainer. Dan Garcia then grabs the mic and he starts to be like, excuse me, what? You're a what? Well, if you're a sports entertainer, then I am too. Dan Garcia considers himself a sports entertainer. Jericho talked Garcia up, referencing a notable car crash from January 2019. He said, I didn't even know who this guy was, but I paid hundreds of dollars to help him in his recovery. And you hear Garcia off mic going, I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Jericho then said, and these two guys, as you call 2.0, they ain't getting called that no more. That's a bad name from bad creative. We use real names here. I didn't write down what those real names are. Let me see if I can find them really fast. If I can find what those were. Didn't actually write down. Damn, I wish I did. But he said it so quickly that I couldn't catch it and I couldn't rewind. Don't think I got it. Let me see. 2 point. Someone had to have tweeted it out. Here we go. All right. So he says, we go by real names here. This is now Daddy Magic Matt Menard. And that over there is Cool Hand Edge Angelo Parker. And I'm like, really? Okay. Ha ha ha. He then said that he got a call from his friend Kevin. So there's two guys out of work. Maybe Jericho could help them get an opportunity. So he put him on Talk as Jericho and realized that these guys do need an opportunity and basically got them into AEW. Jericho said that Hager was, quote, the hand of the king. Hager then said, we are the JAS, and we beat up pro wrestlers. Jericho then said, this is for sports entertainment. And I've once again reinvented myself because that's what I do. He then said, this is sports entertainment, and that's entertaining, or something like that. And I'm like, This is either the dumbest thing ever or the greatest way to get fans to hate the crap out of you. You know what I mean? Like, doing this gimmick in AEW is going to get so much heat, so many boos from the crowd that I'm like, either this is stupid as hell or genius to really get Jericho and the rest of these guys over as huge ass heels. So I'll give it some time and see how it does play out. Korean Diva Jessica Shida saying that she was in Shida's head and she'll be responsible for ending Shida's career. Luke Might says, what was the KO reference? He said, my friend Kevin called me and said that these two guys were no longer had a job and needed an opportunity or something like that. He said, my old best friend Kevin called. That was the KO reference. Next up, TNT title on the line, Scorpio Sky against Wardlow. And the match itself was good, but then it had the bullshit WWE style finish that we all expected. So Sky laid in some body shots early, which only served to infuriate the challenger Wardlow. Wardlow attacked with his shoulder to the gut and slammed Sky, who rolled to the floor. On the outside, Van Zant and Vanderfort distracted Wardlow, allowing Sky to hit a baseball slide to take over. Upon return, Sky was taunting Wardlow in the corner, leading to the big man taking the champ down with the overhead belly-to-belly suplex. Actually, I think he had more than one. Sky escaped a powerbomb attempt, but Wardlow was able to hit a spine buster. He called for the powerbomb symphony and hit one, then another, then a third. On the fourth, Lambert distracted Wardlow, allowing Sky to roll to the floor. Also, speaking of Dan Lambert, so they got the two TNT belts. Cobra Sky wears one, Dan Lambert was wearing the other. At this point, Chairman Sean Spears would walk down the ramp, chair in hand. MJF then came out from the other side and drove Wardlow into the ring post as the referee was distracted trying to get Spears to leave. Wardlow got thrown back into the ring. Sky rolled him up. 1, 2, 3. There we go. It's over. Wardlow, unsuccessful in becoming the TNT champion. After the match, everyone tried to beat down Wardlow, but Wardlow fought everybody off and then isolated MJF. He had MJF in the powerbomb position, but Spears hit him with a chair, and Vanderfort locked on a sleeper hold. Wardlow apparently has no friends, and then Spears hit Wardlow over the head with a chair as MJF paid off Lambert for the assist. MJF then struck Wardlow with a diamond ring to close the segment. And I'm like, ain't nobody gonna come out and help Wardlow? Hell, even Darby and Sting, who fought Matt Hardy at the pay-per-view, came out to help him. A man that they were feuding with less than a week prior, they came out to help him. There's not one person out here that ain't gonna come help Wardlow. Not even the former TNT champion, Sammy Guevara. Just saying. Then Jade Cargill and Mark Sterling. She was asked about going 30-0, and she goes, who's next for that bitch show? Whatever. Next up, we had the Hardys versus Private Party. I felt like the match itself was good, but it went a little long for my taste. It was like, Like, the match itself, all good action, but there was times where you could see that they were, like, trying to catch their breath, or they were trying to, like, get into the what's the next spot. And I just felt like it was dragged out a little too long. Matt Hardy, straight back to just being Matt Hardy of the Hardy Brothers, because they're not the Hardy Boys. Justin Roberts called them the Hardys, but on commentary, they kept being called the Hardy Brothers, the Hardy Brothers, the Hardy Brothers. So the Hardys isolated Mark Quinn on their side of the ring with frequent tags in and out. Private Party returned the fire with a double team on Matt. With the official distracted, Private Party crotched Matt around the ring post, allowing them to take control. And I go, man, Matt's looking old. I mean, you don't want to look at Matt from behind. Just a big old bald spot. Big old bald spot. He's got the gray beard. It's just Matt looking old. Yeah, Luke Might even says it. Age just caught up to Matt. Back from a commercial break, Quinn used the distraction to land a great tope con Grillo onto Matt. They then did... Actually, I think it was before the break. I wanted to bring this up. It was before the break, I believe it was. They did the poetry in motion. And I loved Jim Ross's comment here going. He said something along the lines of, the Hardy Boys are going back to the well. They're doing all the moves that we know that the Hardy Boys are known for. But are those moves a little too iconic and easy for opponents to scout? Easy for opponents to know they're coming because they're the moves that the Hardys are just known for always doing. When you see them getting set up, you know what's coming next. I loved JR. I may have said more than JR said there, but basically that's what JR said. He's like, they got their iconic move set. Could it be that, they've been doing it for so long that it's now easy for opponents to foreshadow what's coming next by the way they're starting to set stuff up in the motions they're going into. I really love JR bringing that up. Private Party at one point hit a double team on both of them. Got a 2 on Matt. Matt finally made the hot tag to Jeff. Crowd went wild. Jeff ran in and knocked down Cassidy with some cool leg drops, including one that fell into a pinning predicament for a 2. He set it for the Swanton, but Quinn pulled him down. Matt had a side effect on Quinn. Then Jeff hit a top rope splash on Cassidy for a 2. Wasn't the Swanton, so we knew he wasn't winning yet. Cassidy then countered a Twist of Fate attempt. Matt stopped to steal his string, and the Hardys each hit Twist of Fates. Jeff then landed a very stiff-looking Swanton, where he does the Swanton, and then he just dead weights right on, I want to say it was Isaiah Cassidy. And that looked like it could have just knocked the complete wind out of him. The way Jeff's like 220, 230 pounds. And he comes off that top rope with the Swanton and just didn't bounce off of him to quickly get off him. No, he just dead weight. As soon as he completed the flip, dead weight. Like, oh, that looked like I hurt a little bit. Jeff gets the pin 1, 2, 3. There we go. After the match, Andrade and the newly called AFO, Andrade Family Office, strolls down to the ring. They surrounded the ring, but then out comes Sting and Darby to even the odds, and then they leave. That was it. Red Velvet was interviewed about what's going on with her and Layla Hirsch. She will be taking on Layla Hirsch this week on Rampage. Speaking of Rampage, 4 matches were announced. Layla Hirsch versus Red Velvet. Darby Allin against The Butcher. The House of Black against Bear Country and Fuego del Sol. And Keith Lee against Max Caster. We then get the main event. It's a cage match. The AEW Women's World Championship. And this was a different cage than we've seen before in All Elite Wrestling. This was more of a Hell in a Cell without a roof. But Thunder Rosa did get a special entrance. An all-female mariachi band played before her music hit. And she walked down to the ring. And a fan got one hell of a souvenir tonight because she had a big old sombrero on. And she gets halfway down the ramp. She takes the sombrero off. And she kind of fiddles to get the string from under her neck. And then she just throws it. And it lands right in the front row. A guy grabs it. Boy, is that a hell of a souvenir. To get the hat that she wore to the ring the night she becomes the champion. Save that for a little while. That's going to be worth some money. Also, Britt Baker came down wearing some black and white Scott Hall inspired gear. I saw Sean Waltman tweeted about it. He stated, I had the tweet pulled up. Here we go. He stated, now I don't see the tweet. Oh, I see you at Real Britt Baker. This match was good. Wasn't great. I think the lights out match was still better, but it was better than the pay-per-view match. And no matter what they did here, it was going to be better than the pay-per-view match. But AEW's got a new cage. A bigger cage, you may say. Because now there's enough room for people to jump out and just kind of do at least like a suplex or a scoop slam at ringside, or pull up the ring skirt to grab a bunch of weapons. So now there is an AEW. I don't know if this is what they're going to do from now on, because the cage now falls all the way. It always fell all the way down to the floor, but it was always butted right up against the ring. Now it's got a ringside area. So I don't know if this is the move going forward for permanent or if it was just for this match because they knew they wanted a bunch of weapons. But Baker quickly tried to escape the cage and Thunder Rosa stopped her. It didn't really make much sense. This match can only be won by pinfall and submission, as they said on commentary. So maybe she didn't know. Again, that's why I called this basically a Hell in a Cell without a roof. Because there was no escape the cage. It was pinfall or submission victory only. So, Rosa downs Baker with a lariat and throws her face first into the cage. She throws her into the cage a second time, and Baker starts bleeding from the forehead. Starts punching her in the forehead, trying to bust open the cut even more. Baker does eventually gain control on the floor, and Rosa was also bleeding from the forehead. I didn't see exactly when, but eventually they both got back in the ring, and I'm like, when did Thunder Rosa start bleeding? Okay. Tripstar says the ring seemed a bit small. No, the ring was the normal ring. It was just they built the cage wider to give them room to grab all them damn weapons from under the ring, or all them damn chairs and thumbtacks. Because if it was a regular cage, they couldn't have done all the stuff they did with the chairs and thumbtacks. Then we go to commercial break. We got picture-in-picture, and Baker's producing a bunch of chairs from under the ring and throwing them all in the ring. Rosa avoided a chair shot, hits a clothesline before whacking Baker with a chair. Got a great Crimson Mask impression with her face painted all in red. Rosa then hit a stunner and a corner clothesline, followed by a running low drop kick back from the break. Also, Baker pulled out a bunch of more chairs, and Jim Ross is just kind of just like, how many chairs is she going to pull out of there? Baker then inadvertently super kicks the referee. The ref's kind of sitting in like a 619 position, ready to take that. When Thunder Rosa goes for the Fire Thunder, or Thunder Rosa then grabs Britt Baker and kind of like shoves her into the ref. The ref falls out of the ring, hits his face on the cage. He's out. She goes for the Fire Thunder driver. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Crowd's chanting. No referee. So they go back and forth for a moment. Props up a chair propped a chair on Baker and climbed, but Baker stopped her with a chair shot. Baker then hit an avalanche air raid crash onto a pile of chairs that looked brutal, and then Baker starts yelling, "Get the ref out here. Fucking get in the ring." She throws an F-bomb. You know you're on TV. Whether the camera's going to pick you up or not, don't risk it. But she's literally yelling, "Get a ref in here. Get in the ring." Or she's like, "Get a ref in here. Get in the fucking ring." And she says it right on TV. So Aubrey Edwards runs out, but Rosa kicks out of a great near fall. Rosa, "This is awesome" chant, an awesome camera shot with blood streaming down Baker's face that looked uncannily like the famous image of her from a year ago. Baker then got in Aubrey's face, and they talked about how Baker and Aubrey never seen eye to eye. This set up a ridiculous chair structure where Thunder Rosa goes to climb up the top rope. Baker hits with the chair. She just sits there on the top rope, kind of hunched over. Baker sets up 6 chairs, I want to say. She then puts 2 chairs on top of the 6 chairs. She then opens up 2 more chairs, chair on top, she climbs up to the top. I don't know what she was thinking she was going to do, Thunder Rosa. She had her in a Spanish fly position. Thunder Rosa then beats her, grabs her, head first into the steel. Baker then falls back, lands right on the chairs. I think having that second layer of chairs helped her, because if she would have had only the 1 layer of chairs, she would have crashed through them, and that would have hurt probably a lot more. But she just hit, boom, stiff. Yeah, probably still hurt, but not as much because the chairs just absorbed it all. Thunder Rosa then jumps off the top rope, goes for the pin, 1, 2, kick out. Rosa, after the cover, Baker just pops up. Like, she gets the pin attempt, Thunder Rosa, and then Britt Baker's just good to go. She slides out of the ring, super kick, and then grabs a bag of thumbtacks from under the ring. Pours out the thumbtacks in the middle of the ring, and Rosa counters a neckbreaker attempt, but Baker then back body drops Thunder Rosa onto the tacks, where really she just got him with her legs. Baker goes for the pin, 1, 2, that's all. Baker then transitions the pin into a potential lockjaw. She puts on the glove, and then Thunder Rosa does the thing that I've been saying for years. Bite her freaking hand. Thunder Rosa bites the hand. Britt can't put on the lockjaw because her hand now hurts. Then what does she do? She grabs her hand and smacks her hand in the thumbtacks. Why isn't everybody biting this bitch's hand? You know what I mean? Bite the hand. She ain't applying the lockjaw. Baker then floated over to the other side, but Rosa smashed Baker's hand into the tacks like I stated. Rosa then powerbombed Baker onto the tacks. Rosa then picks her up, hits the Fire Thunder driver, and picks up the victory and becomes the new AEW Women's World Champion. Baker Rosa is crying after the match. She's got the belt. Confetti falling from the skies. Dustin Rhodes then comes in to give her a big ol' hug as the show goes off the air. Really, really, really good match. I felt like the Lights Out match from a year ago was a little better, in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. Everybody is entitled to their own opinions. So if you liked this match better than the Lights Out match, cool. I can see where people could like this match better. I preferred the Lights Out match from last year. Going on, KC. But with that, that's what I thought of tonight's AEW Dynamite. Now it's time to hear what you thought. But first, I want to tell you that this podcast is brought to you by the PCD Hive Magazine. Issue number 1 of the PCD Hive Magazine is available now to purchase digitally. This magazine focuses on mental health, self-love, and features a number of different creators from writers, poets, artists, and more. Right now, the PCD Hive Magazine is available at the link in the description below or by going to pcdhive.com, and it's only $1. Again, head over to pcdhive.com. Again, head over to pcdhive.com or the link in the description below to check out the March edition of the PCD Hive Magazine, again, for only $1. Will do, Casey. Give me like 5 minutes. We're almost done here. So, with that, now it's time to hear what you guys thought of the show. First off, let's check the polls. 100% of you liked it on Twitch. As far as the Twitter poll does go, 75% liked the show, 20% didn't, and 5% thought it was just all right. And finally, as far as the YouTube poll does go, 79% liked the show, 17% thought it was just all right, and 3% did not like the show. As far as the text messages do go, remember you can text into 510-906-1341. Check these. Let's see. This person says, what are your thoughts on Thunder Rosa becoming the new AEW Women's World Champion? I thought they should have done it at the pay-per-view. Like, this should have been the pay-per-view match right here. I get it doing it in the hometown and everything, but cool. Thunder Rosa's the champion. If anyone's going to take it from Britt Baker, I think Thunder Rosa was the perfect person to do it. Who do you think's next in line for the AEW Women's World Championship? No clue. Maybe they go rematch with Britt, but I have no clue who else would be. I mean, we could try to find the rankings and just see. Let's see who's up there in the rankings. Let's see. Can we find the current AEW rankings? Maybe not. I'm not seeing the rankings. Let me look at one more spot here. Let's go to the AEW Twitter. Dub. Also, Britt Baker come out and do her entrance. They still had on the graphic the old belt. It's been a week and a half since the pay-per-view and you debuted the new belt. Put up the fucking, get a new graphic. Don't take that long. All right, as far as the women's division does go, Serena Deeb would technically now be ranked the number 1 contender. Either Serena Deeb or Layla Hirsch. Serena Deeb is 6-0. Layla Hirsch is 7-1. So If you go off the rankings, it would be one of them. Baker's only 3-0 for the year. Says, do you think the Jericho Appreciation Society and Eddie, Sammy, Santana, and Ortiz are going to have a match? Do you think it should be blood and guts? Let's see. We've got 5 guys, 4 guys. You still need a 5th because you've got Jericho 2.0, Garcia, Hager, Eddie, Santana, Ortiz, Sammy. If you want to put Sammy in this, you still need a 5th though. Make it even. But so Terry Ikes in the chat says Layla's 3rd and Diva's 2nd. Not when you re-rank it after Thunder Rosa's no longer ranked number 1, bud. You got to take Thunder Rosa off on number 1 because she's now the champion. You put her in the champ spot. You take Britt Baker out, who would no longer be ranked top 5. Everyone moves up. Serena Deeb goes up to number 1. Just saying. Macho Man would say, thinking. Says, I loved AEW tonight. The main event was great. Wardlow got screwed. And take the family to see Dog. Kevin Nash makes a cameo, and it looked nothing like Nash. I've seen the pictures. I do want to watch the movie. Probably just wait till I can get a bootleg copy. I ain't going to pay for it in theaters. I got to save money so I can take, so me and my son can go see Doctor Strange coming up soon. Going forward, last text message here. Says, I think AEW did good tonight, and then they asked about NXT, but I'm not going to read no NXT stuff because we're not talking WWE. But with that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and Twitter.com/PW Unlimited. Also, Bangs, when's the new season start? Hit me up, let me know on Twitter. I haven't checked it, but we need to jump in because that's like today or tomorrow, right? So we need to jump in and stream that. If the new season of Fortnite is tonight or tomorrow, whenever it is, let me know. But with that, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and Twitter.com/PW Unlimited. I might be streaming later. I do have some video editing I need to do for a job with a buddy of mine in Texas. We do stuff where these corporations hold conventions and they have speakers and stuff. He films them, sends me the footage, I edit it, and then we get paid. So I got to work on that. But with that, I might be streaming later. Twitch.tv/TimmyBuddy. Not a guarantee, but if not, I'll try to stream tomorrow night for sure. So with that, guys, have a good one. I'll see you next time. $19th. Oh, okay. I had seen people tweeting stuff out, so I thought it was like today or tomorrow. $19th.